With inflation coming down, it looks like we're going to be seeing interest rates steadily dropping between now and spring of 2025, and even more so after, depending on how things continue to go. I'm actually going to pull up the interest rate announcement schedule.
Yeah, because there's one remaining in this year, correct? And it's projected that we could very well see another 0.5%, which would be nice because it would kind of prop us up for a little bit more of a promising year coming into next year. I mean, even for myself, April, like when we filmed our last podcast, I feel like realistically since I've joined the business, we've kind of been in a downturn market, and I kind of feel like finally heading into a space where, even just remaining steady, remaining somewhat strong rather than, the negativity and the kind of the, radioactive symbols that have been all around the market the last, 18 months. It's kind of nice to finally feel like maybe some tides are turning. Might not be super quick, from what we've been talking about, what maybe to the mid to later half of next year is when things might kind of transition into a little bit more consumer confidence, because I feel even start of next year we might see something similar to what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I think it's like a double-edged sword. For things to get better, it's like things have to get worse for it to get better. So and if interest rates are coming down, it's only because the economy's not doing too hot. So looking at the schedule here, it went from somewhere around May, June of 2022, steadily increased where it peaked in and around that 5% mark in April of 2024. And then we saw the first reduction in June. And we've seen the reductions since June, and then the most recent one at 0.5%. And then there's those few other announcements that are coming up, and I think most people would predict that it's in the downward trend. I mean, we don't know, anything can change, but if interest rates start to come down, I think you guys have seen the same thing, that our buyers are kind of, a lot of them have been on the sidelines, a little fearful of where the market was going, and with these high interest rates. And my intuition's telling me, based on what I'm seeing and the conversations I'm having behind closed doors, is there's buyers accumulating, and we don't have a lot of product. Although we're at 10-year highs technically on paper, we don't have a lot of inventory in the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 ranges. A lot of that inventory high is on the high price points, but the majority of the population is purchasing in that $500,000 to $600,000 range, and there's not a lot of product in that area. And with interest rates expected to continue to drop, bringing more affordability back and more buyers to the table with still a lack of product, they're just not building houses fast enough. I feel that we're in for maybe more competition come the spring of 2025 and after, but I don't know if you're feeling the same thing, but that's kind of the lay of the land right now.
Yeah, and especially coming off just about 4 years of rising rates, no one wants to get a bad deal or pay too much or lock in their rate for too long. Everyone's kind of waiting for it to drop, but I'm sure you guys know, as rates drop, it's a lot of those potential pre-approved buyers waiting to all get in at the same time. So I think probably going to start seeing that in the spring. So
what's crazy to me is, like, over the last 10 years, if I had the amount of buyers that have said, I wish I bought in 2008, I wish I bought in 2009. And then when things got really crazy in 2019, 2021, many of them, said, we're going to hold off, we're going to wait for the market to crash. And from May of 2022 to the end of 2022, we saw like 30% plus drop in pricing, and the average home went from 722,000 down to like 470 some odd thousand, just in the matter of 6 months. So that was that big drop that a lot of those buyers were waiting for. But then interest rates started to come up, and then those same buyers, I found, were getting fearful of the high interest rate market, not sure where things were going. And because of the high interest rates and buyers becoming fearful, houses are becoming less competitive, where buyers can actually go in and negotiate proper conditions, lower prices than what they were prior to the interest rate announcements. Now, in Canada as a whole, they're just not building houses fast enough. I believe they need to build something like 466,000 homes per year for the next 10 years to catch up with the amount of immigration coming in, especially around this area, the amount of jobs and factories, infrastructure that's being built. So we have population growth, houses not being built. We have builders at standstills because for what they purchased the land for and the cost of building, they're not able to sell the home for a profit when buyers are not willing to pay those prices. So houses are at a standstill for being built. Immigration has picked up. Buyers are fearful on the sidelines. So I feel like it's just this perfect storm of what is probably soon to be chaos. And my fear is right now for first-time home buyers over the winter and the fall months might be their opportunity they were waiting for, because if they wait just like everyone else for interest rates to come down, you wait too long, then you're right back into the mix of it. Where right now, while people are a little bit fearful and before interest rates come down even further and before we get into the spring market, this might be that opportunity. Anybody who owns a home, it's all relative, and if the market goes up or down, so yes, their house goes up or down, but so does the house that they're purchasing. But for those first-time home buyers that have been struggling, I know a lot of them are hoping for interest rates to come down further and wait maybe to the spring of next year. But I worry that it may be right back into a lot of the competition that we were seeing, and we're already starting to see it pick up just from that last half rate announcement. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people starting to come to the table, and as well as us. But yeah, I think these next 3 to 6 months would be that opportunity, but that's a matter of the right houses hitting the market too.